Hello everyone, welcome back to the Who is Barack Obama Reviews. Today we're going to talk about why suing Obama might destroy the Republican Party. I'm sure you're all up to date on the GOP's approval of John Boehner's lawsuit against President Barack Obama. What's wrong? Why is Boehner suing Obama? Well, let's ask Boehner.
And not only does the president regularly ignore the law, he brags about it. And he brags about his willingness to change it unilaterally. First, this administration makes the wrong decisions, then it won't give the American people the straight answers. Instead, it's arrogance and incompetence right down the line. I think Americans deserve better, and the House will continue to listen to the American people and make their priorities our priorities.
So evidently, Boehner feels that Obama is what many would say ODing. He is overdoing his job, or perhaps we can put it this way, he had an overdose of executive power, and now he don't know when to stop. He is trespassing his authority. He is trespassing his legitimate executive powers. So this is what the concern is. And I think that that's a legitimate concern. If any American feels that one of our representatives is ODing, let me use that word, then let's see what's going on. But the Republican Party have a history of just complaining and criticizing and challenging President Barack Obama at every opportunity. So much so that I think they are sabotaging their own party. I think Republicans are sabotaging the Republican Party, and I am here to show some concern for the Republican Party. I'm here to show some love for a party that I think has an amazing reputation in American history. And let's talk just a little bit about that. Indeed, the Republican Party is one of America's legacies. In fact, all we need to do is go back to 1854. Ripon, Wisconsin. The party was born out of a reaction to the Kansas-Nebraska Act that repealed the Missouri Compromise, which basically was set up between northern and southern states to secure certain boundaries of slave states, to prevent slave states and this whole ideology of slavery and racism from becoming rampant throughout our country. And so a few guys, and I'm sure a woman, said enough is enough. We're going to stand up to this ongoing crime to humanity. And so they decided to challenge the Southern Democrats. But they felt that they had a right to do whatever they want in their own territories. You know, they had a right to live by whatever code they wanted to live by. Of course, libertarians would challenge that and say, well, you don't have a right to misuse another person or to abuse them as property. But this was the kind of stuff that was going on in the United States, and the Republican Party said, enough is enough, we're going to challenge you. And so members of the Whig Party, even some members of the Southern Democratic Party who felt that, you know, slavery is not the way to go, even the know-nothings, they joined in this historic formation of a group of people who felt that slavery was unjust. So this was one of the primary causes of the Republican Party. Things turned around, of course. The North, and now let me just put this, the Republican Party I'm talking about was largely based in the Northeast and Western states. Now, after time, the party sort of migrated south, and their ideologies migrated to the south, and they adopted, of course, racism and Jim Crow laws, and that's what we've dealt with for a very long time, up into the 1960s. But let's just go up to the Reagan years. even the Reagan years, and a lot of people, and especially if you are liberal or Democrat or progressive, have a lot to complain about. But just for the sake of the Republican Party, I want to speak well about them. They had a very solid, internal ideological infrastructure. The members of that party at that time during the Reagan years, they were one, and they were willing to make hard decisions on behalf of the country. And of course, they were attributed to bringing down the Berlin Wall and ending communism. Of course, we have to thank all the American presidents, since the end of World War II, Harry Truman and Eisenhower and everyone else, for their contributions to the success of the United States. But the point I want to make before I go all over the place is that the Republican Party during the Reagan years, more or less, and going into the Bush years, and ever since then, were more or less a very strong, tightly woven, group of individuals who really loved America. They're becoming a party of sabotage. They're becoming a party that is so fixated on one person, ignoring that more than half the country chose Barack Obama twice without any discrepancies, no need to go back and recount. They're ignoring this fact and saying, at any cost, we're going to oppose President Barack Obama for any reason. We're going to let flourish any lies. We're going to let flourish any propaganda. And what's going to happen is people in the next 2, 3, 4 years are going to look back and say, wait a minute, they were wrong about Obama on more than perhaps 80% of their claims. They were wrong, and they even admitted they were wrong, but they didn't admit directly. But a GOP led investigation regarding Obama's wrongdoing in Benghazi vindicated President Barack Obama of any wrongdoing. Okay, Obamacare was supposed to have failed. It's not failing. Many Republicans are now, not all, but many Republicans are now coming around and saying, this is not that bad. Of course, there is this classic issue that the government is forcing them to do something that they don't like to do. I get that. But at the end of the day, Obamacare is not destroying America. At the end of the day, the economy is improving, not as fast as they would like it to, but hey, before they were saying it wasn't going to happen at all. I can go on and on and on, and I don't want to slip into the blame game, and it is a slippery slope. But what I do want to stress is to the Republican Party, because you guys fought for African American rights. Well, at least the Republican Party as an institution, not the individuals of our day. I don't know, but I would like to say that the Republican Party played a major role in the case in the fight for freedom. They really ushered in the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments. Now, right now you're bickering among each other. You allow the Tea Party to uproot you, and now you're fracturing. You're fracturing off into the Independent Party and over into the Libertarian Party. So I have a few pieces of data that I just want to share very quickly before we close out here. One is, they all are charts. They all are charts showing the approval rating of Congress and also the United States President Barack Obama. And let's start off with President Barack Obama. We know that his approval rating is low compared to other presidents. So just check that out. See, it's very low. It dipped down, but it began to make some steps up, where not much, still in the 40s, more or less. But let's look at the approval rating for Congress. Now, if you look at the approval rating for Congress, beginning way out in 2008, 2009, it dipped. It looks like a plane that just ran out of gas. Look at that. And so what we get here, and look, it's in the teens, first of all. So what we get here is, if we compare the president's approval rating versus Congress approval rating, if I can put it like this, America likes Obama more Then Congress. Now let's think about Congress. We have two groups. We have a group of people who are trying to aid President Barack Obama when possible. Obviously, that's his party, so that's a little biased there. And you have another group that's impeding Barack Obama for every reason under the sun. And they are, and they will be considered the cause of America's slow return, the cause of America's discord in years to come. So let me show you a few other charts you can see very quickly. Check those out. Okay, I just want to say, Republican Party, in the next 2 years, it would be in your best interest to really try to work with President Barack Obama. You're not going to lose. You're going to take the higher ground. That's taking the higher ground. And that's doing you some good. And the reason why I'm telling you this, although I most likely will vote liberal, blue, or however you want to say it, is because I feel that it is important to have a reminder of different perspectives. Certain conservative issues are very important, and we need people to champion those views, because every one of us can get caught up in our own minds and think that we're absolutely right at every point. And I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for anyone else. So I'm cool with the two-party system. I'm cool with the three-party, four-party system. And so Republican Party, get it together, or else you're going to be out of the picture during the next two presidential elections. As it stands now, the most vibrant, growing electorates are not going to vote for you. Immigrants are not going to vote for you. Minorities are not going to vote for you. The majority of women are not going to vote for you. The middle class will not vote for you. And even some Christian groups are not voting for you because of misinterpretations of the Bible. And I don't even want to get into that. I'll let you guys handle it. But seriously, get it together. Let's have a basic conversation. A lot of your groupies are just very vulgar when it comes to talking about Obama. Come on, let's cut that out. And even some of us Democrats are like that too. And so I want to just say to America in general, cut out all the vulgarity in our democratic discourse. Okay? Let's make this happen, Republicans. I want to see you as a formidable opponent in 2016. Bye.